Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the breeder himself. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
This nickname shit isn't easy, is it?
Yo, it's easy, especially when it comes to Pokemon. It's simple.
Well, you're simple.
That's the first and probably only time you're actually ever going to call me simple. But
on your face, baby.
I know. So on the other line with me, also joining us on the show for the very first time on the Pokemon podcast, he is our brother. He is the butch of the group. It's good old C-Note. C-Note, how you doing, brother?
I don't know if I like that nickname.
Yeah, this nickname shit is not easy, is it?
No,
Wait a minute. The Butch.
Yeah,
what are you trying to say about me, Chris?
This is
it's better than being James.
y'all used to talk so much shit on me for my nickname.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're
Never
butch.
mind. My mind went completely somewhere else.
We told you to quit looking at that stuff before we told
God
you.
damn.
We told you no porn while we were doing this. You have one job, C-Note.
Well, 2. We had to watch the episode.
Goddamn. And then when somebody gives you the wrong episode number.
Hey, you found it.
Yeah, you found it. It's all good.
Yeah, just luckily, I'm like scrolling. And you say 54, and I'm like, what the fuck? It ends at 52. But then it just happened to be 52 was the one we were looking. I'm like, oh, wait, no, 50. Oh, okay. Like if you just said episode 54 and didn't give me the title, I would have really been fucked.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sitting at, and mine says episode 52 as well.
Yes. So that was on me.
Okay. At least you're owning up to it.
Yes. So
that's the first step towards, God damn it, I can't even think.
And by the way, I said episode 53 on Netflix, not 54. Asshole.
Either way, it was
wrong. Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, 53? This is only 52. Is there another season that I'm not aware of? But yes.
You did say 53. Okay, my bad.
This is the season finale of season 1 of Pokemon, and what a way to wrap it up by having like one of our best friends on the show with us, Doug.
He's all right.
Well, wait a minute now. I'm ready to give Chris some shit for saying one of our best friends. And then you just topped the cake with the, wow, he's all right. Fuck you. I think maybe, might have to revoke that invite I offered to you on Thursday night.
Oh, ooh. But all right. So C-Note. We have spoken to our audience. Well, not spoken to, but we've talked about you to our audience in regards to our Null and Void show, Sports Entertainment Breakdown, which we kindly took a break from because.
Wait a minute. Have you made a decision that I didn't know about?
Yeah, I was going to say, now wait a minute. Null and Void.
Null and Void. There's no coming back from that now. Wait a minute.
We might be doing some rebranding when we come back. Don't you think we kind of have to?
First time hearing about it.
I mean,
but okay, no. I honestly though, I use the wrong term, but we.
Yeah, you use the wrong term. You hope that none of us caught on to you.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Exactly. Because it's like it shocked me when I logged into my freaking Skype tonight, and I'm like, we haven't fucking recorded since March. Well, goddamn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But wrestling has kind of taken a small dive, and
a small dive.
Oh,
yeah, it's not the same. So we have the three of us actually have not recorded, like you said, since March, and that's being generous because I think we probably recorded maybe 2 episodes this entire year, and it's just it's not the same. And I'm waiting until fans come back into attendance to where we can actually do this some more. But it's nice to be a trio again. It's like old times. So
I'm glad
Cinos.
you said trio and not threesome, because
Yeah, we
just
told you not to do that before you came on here.
do
so
what?
so Cino, why don't you kind of introduce yourself to our audience? I'll give you the floor for a couple minutes to kind of tell our audience about yourself.
Okay.
He likes one. What? Well, fuck me. I can't talk. Never mind. Ah, damn it.
All right. Do I have the floor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or are you going to cut me off?
No, I couldn't get it out. Don't worry about it. I couldn't.
All right. So, yeah, my name is, well, really, my name is Chris, but it just got too fucking confusing with two Chris's on the goddamn show. So
Yes.
I decided to come up with a nickname.
He's the
of
one
C-Note.
note C note.
I'm going to slap you. So, yes, my name is C-Note, and I'm an alcoholic. No.
you might be.
God. I should probably joke like that because everybody's going to be like, what the fuck? No offense to anyone out there who truly is an alcoholic. It's, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, like Chris said, I am one of his good friends. I'm an okay friend of Doug's.
No, I said you're one of our best friends. I have
And
three.
Doug
I have
said
3
I'm
best
okay.
friends.
No, I said all right. If we're splitting hairs.
See, I've given you the benefit. I think okay is better than all right, but hey, whatever. Yeah. We've known each other for what now? 6 years? Something
Yeah.
like that.
6,
5,
7
6
years. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Chris used to work together. That's how we met. And I met Doug because you guys were doing the podcast, and we all had the love of wrestling. You found out I was a wrestling fan because I was wearing my Daniel Bryan hat one day at work.
Yes. Well,
and I think
that
you saw
not even just that, but you had a bunch of wrestling memorabilia and
yeah, on my
and
desk.
and Simpsons all over your desk.
Yes. So I don't know how much Doug does it. Probably not too much without me because you're not as much of a nut as the two of us are. But yeah, me and Doug are definitely huge Simpsons fans. I don't want to speak for Doug, but me definitely more than Pokemon. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, we're doing the podcast. Our sports entertainment breakdown. Me and Doug were doing a separate show where we did the history. This month in history, in WWE, where we talked about some old school stuff that this old fart remembers, but Doug wasn't even born for yet, or he was a wee little one that wasn't into wrestling yet. He hadn't thrown his brother into a mirror yet, but.
I didn't throw him into shit. He ran into it.
Well, yeah, but who told him to do it?
He didn't have. I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. He didn't have to run into that mirror.
He was naive and young.
Like any 5-year-old, if you say, "Hey, go run into that mirror," you're not going to get hurt. They're going to be like, "Okay."
He would have been perfectly fine if he would have run into it, but he chickened out and put his arm up.
Well, yeah, touche. But yeah. So I think that's a little bit about me. Pokemon itself, like I've kind of told you guys in the past, this came out when I was in my 20s.
Yes.
So didn't really get too much into it. I did watch it. The only reason I was watching it is because the girl that I was dating at the time, her son was infatuated with it. So, it helped me,
Kind of
get
bond.
certain things. What's that?
I said it helped you bond with the child.
It helped me bond with him. It did, but then it also helped me get other things from his mother.
You are so lucky this is an adult podcast. I would have to censor and cut so much with C Note. I forgot how lewd C Note gets on a podcast.
Wait a minute. What did I say?
Yeah, that's just us inferring. He didn't say anything.
I know.
I mean, if your mind wants to go a certain way, I can't control that.
That is awesome.
And if he said he bent his mother over while the kid was in the other room watching Pokemon, then we'd have to have a discussion.
While he was in the same room, even.
Oh no.
Wow.
So,
shit.
On that note, C Note.
That's my one note, and I'm out of here. See you later.
So this is episode 55 of our podcast, and this week's episode that we're going over is the breeding center secret, or translated from Japanese, the secret of the breeding center. And like I said last week, I am a fan of the Japanese translation this week because it's not clunky.
Why?
The secret of the breeding center. I mean, it's better than the breeding center secret.
It's the same shit.
No,
Yeah,
it sounds better as the secret of the breeding center instead of the breeding center secret.
I don't know.
Same deal.
I mean,
it's
like
the
same deal, but yeah,
It's like, have you ever seen that clip? I think it's a VH1 clip. Have you ever, it's Vanilla Ice explaining the difference between Ice Ice Baby and Under Pressure.
It's the same song.
But he says, well, my beat's a little different. And he goes into it. He goes, Under Pressure is ding, 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 ding. And mine is ding, 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 ding. You're right. It's the same clip, but he's like, "Well, our beats, it's the same difference."
Yes.
Well, and it's just like Sweet Home Alabama and the Kid Rock song that I can't think of the name of now. God damn it.
Oh yeah. Well, that is the same deal. I mean, that's a sample.
It's the exact same melody or whatever you want to call it. But anyways. Yeah, I actually kind of like the Secret Breeding Center better. It does sound better, but yeah, it's basically the same thing.
So, let's see. Where was I? Okay. This episode aired in Japan on August 6, 1998, and here in the States, May 1st of 1999. So get your drinking caps on because I'm actually going first for the second week in a row, Doug.
Yeah, and this one was really close.
Yes, because mine actually happens on 1939. And when does yours happen, Doug?
41.
Ooh, 2 years.
Can I throw something in here?
What's up?
This date, exactly, to the day, is the day that the old girlfriend that I was talking about earlier,
Yes.
we moved in together.
Really?
Yes.
Get out of here.
That's serious. May 1st of 99 is when we moved in together.
That is hilarious. Wow. All right. So
how'd you celebrate?
Well, we all know how he celebrated.
Wow, that's true.
I mean, yeah. Apparently, I can't talk about things like that because it's an adult show, but not that much of an adult show.
Well, no, not that much. No. But that may or may not have made the final cut of this episode. We'll have to.
We will see. But mine happened in 1939, and it's the first time Batman appeared in Detective Comics issue number 27. So this was the introduction of Batman.
Wow.
And obviously, you're talking dozens of movies, animated television shows,
And he wasn't even just
origin
called Batman.
story.
He was called the Batman in this comic.
That's right. It was the Batman. And I guess in some circles, he still is the Batman, but. See, no, what do you call him? Do you call him Batman or the Batman?
I think Batman.
Ah, okay.
Because I know Batman from the the TV show. Adam West.
Are you talking the Bat-2C, that kind of stuff?
Oh,
yes.
you mean the Batman that we don't talk about?
Well, maybe you don't, but I mean that's what I grew up on.
But why don't we talk about that Batman?
That was such a cheesy. I've seen almost every episode,
It's cheesy,
it's cheesy as all get out.
Yeah, but it knew 60s, it was cheesy.
Mid to late 60s, early 70s TV.
Yeah, was fine.
And one of the most early shows to be continued in the middle of its episodes. You have to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what got you to keep watching.
No.
That's what got you to come the next the next week was to find out
same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah. What was that? Was that CBS?
Yes.
So, see, tying it into last week's for you there.
There you go. Yeah, last week we had the start of CBS for April 24th. So, but Doug, yours was 1941. So what happened in 1941 on May 1st?
So on May 1st, 1941, if Wikipedia wants to load more, because a seminal classic piece of cinema, Citizen Kane, debuts at the Palace Theater in New York City. Let's see.
There's no Kane in Citizen Kane.
Right. Stupid cable guy script almost ruined Jim Carrey's career. This premiere was about 5 months ahead of its wide release, and Citizen Kane is a movie that even if you haven't seen it, you're probably familiar with the iconic bits just through, little clips here and there. Any show that was worth its salt in anything has done a spoof of it. C-Note and I, as big Simpsons fans, have probably seen it referenced enough that if you cut it all together, we basically probably have seen the movie at this point.
Right.
Friggin' Animaniacs have done numerous references.
Numerous.
Like C-Note said, there's no Kane in Citizen Kane. Everybody and their mother knows Rosebud. As Peter would say, it's his sled. There I just saved you 2 long boobless hours. It's a classic. classic. I'll throw my hands up and say that I haven't seen it. Probably don't have any intention to. Because there's just so damn much else to watch. But yeah, I figured this was big enough that I'd throw it out there. Just a little bit of little factoid to tie us off.
All right.
It had a budget of $839,000 budget,
That's not
and
a
it
lot, but that
made
was probably a lot.
it's
That was probably a lot in 1941.
Yeah.
and through all the re-releases and whatnot, box office initial was 1.6. So it made its budget back, but not by too much.
All right.
Hmm.
Well, there you go. So, thank you for that historical moment, Doug.
Yep.
And are you guys ready to jump into this week's episode?
I think so.
I was about to say, I was like, did everyone go dark on me? All right.
I went to sleep. Past my bedtime now.
I don't watch dark.
So, all right. So this week we start our journey, or we start this week's episode with Todd taking pictures of Togepi and Misty trying to get Togepi to turn around to take a nice little photo. And Togepi is just all giddy and just cute and fun filled, and I don't know. I love me some Togepi, and Togepi just has that mysteriousness about her that goes a long way. Doug?
Can I turn this dirty in like 5 seconds?
Sure.
Todd's taking pictures of Misty's lap.
He is. He is. And we go straight from that. Yeah, he does have some questionable positions every time he's taking a photo. But we go straight from that to the weather lady saying that it's going to be in the upper 70s and it's going to be sunny. And
I would take that in a heartbeat. Where the fuck has that been? Where the fuck? Oh.
And
That's about what it was today.
Oh, it was. Well, maybe it got there, but it was hot this morning.
Yeah, it was. But we go straight from that to a commercial of an up and coming. Well, it looks like a grand opening of a Pokemon breeding center where we have a female and a male come up into the frame to talk about how they can turn a Charmander into a Charmeleon into a Charizard, and that's how good that their breeding is inside of this new breeding center. So it kind of sparks things for Brock and Misty, and it kind of gets the turntables turning inside of their heads, I guess you could say. Doug, you want to take this part, and then we'll switch it over to C Note.
No, because you fucked me. You didn't even realize it, but you basically threw an Office reference in there, and I wasn't expecting. No, but I want to go back because I think you hit the nail on the head, but then you backtracked on yourself. You initially had said this looks like an up and coming center, and
it's a grand opening.
I think you're right. No, I don't think it's a grand opening because I mean this is skipping ahead a little bit, but it proves your point. They're already, for lack of a better word, booked up by the time our heroes get there. So this has to be somewhat established.
I guess a little bit. But Todd also brings up a good point right before they get to the breeding center. he's like it's like a Pokemon spa. He's like these people basically train your Pokemon when you don't have the time to train your Pokemon, and a lot of the time they end up evolving because of the treatment that they're getting, which coincides with the video game. I guess we can make a video game
Yeah,
reference
I
here.
was just about to ask you because you'd be more attuned than I would be because you're a little bit more into it. This is the Egg Center, right? Basically.
Yeah, the Egg Center. So, um, or no, they had in Red and Blue. They had like a breeding center where you can put two of the same Pokemon, either a girl or a boy, and or a boy with a Ditto, and it would automatically make an egg in the game, and that egg will end up hatching and being that Pokemon, which
Right.
is kind of weird, but I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, it's that, and you take so many steps, and your egg will hatch, or depending on how many steps you take while your Pokemon is in the breeding center, your Pokemon will also gain experience and start leveling up. The only thing is it won't learn any new attacks. So if you don't get back to your Pokemon by the time it's supposed to learn Flamethrower and you get there one level after, you better hope that you didn't save that game yet.
I I used to get eggs and then I would ride my bike up and down. There was a long stretch of road.
Yes.
You just ride your bike up and down for like
I used to
5 minutes.
hate that road because you get all the way to the bottom and it's not like you could ride it right back up. Because the road goes one way and then you're trying to pedal up and your speed gets like cut down like by 10. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but I would have to sit there and fly back up to the previous city so I can jump down and make sure I have the Pokemon, because you needed a Pokemon that knew cut so you can
Yeah.
get onto this road so you could ride it all the way down. And you better have fought every single biker that's on that road,
Oh,
because
I hated that.
you'll be riding down that road, and if you didn't, and you'll always have that one biker in the middle of it that goes, "Ha, Pokemon battle, let's do it." And I would just be like, "No, I want to get to the bottom."
Motherfucker, I don't have 2 minutes. Move on.
So, Sino, do you happen to have this episode up?
Of course I do.
Of course you do, because you're a professional.
Right.
So,
You told me to have it up.
Professional what? We don't know.
professional pornographer. Um,
Jesus Christ.
so,
See, now why is it you can make the dirty jokes, but I can't?
because you go into detail. I'm the editor.
The fuck, man.
All right. So, so we get the title sequence and C note. I'm actually curious as to how you would end up describing this next scene, but right after the title sequence, would you mind taking the ball here for a second?
So when you say title sequence,
After
Oh,
they
for
say
goodness
the
sake.
breeding or the secret of the breeding Pokemon, whatever.
okay.
We're at 2 minutes and 28 seconds into the episode.
Yep. All right. So, you've got the lady who's kind of in charge of the place, I guess,
Yes.
kind of telling everybody to like come on, look, this is the place to be. This is where you want to go to, to bring your Pokemon to, get love and care and everything else. And
Brock
kind
is
of almost,
spitting.
it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a ticker tape parade almost. Look, you see the the little, and I'm like doing the hand gestures and everything here too. But,
Yeah, our whole audience can see you right now. Don't worry, this is a video podcast. We can see you.
Just on your end.
Well, you needed to tell me to put some fucking pants on then. Dude. God damn it.
Oh, this is true.
God, Warner brother. Jeez. I do have to say though.
You just made a joke and didn't even know you made a joke.
No, he knew what he was saying.
What did I do?
He knew what he was.
Warner Brother.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize. Okay, shit, that was good.
This TV show used to come on
Yeah.
Kids WB, the Warner Brother channel.
Warner Brother.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. That's just a geek. That's
So
a geek moment.
yeah, I guess so. But I do have to say that when I would watch this, trying to bond with my my girl's son at the time, uh, Psyduck was one of the Pokemon that I thought was kind of cool.
Strike.
Psyduck.
Strike a chord with you, did he?
Yeah, a little bit. And I don't know if it was just that we're both a little slow, and
he's like, is this Pokemon making fun of me?
right? I mean, shit. But
I do want to throw out one thing that we kind of overlooked. So we know. I mean, later we're gonna find out this girl's name is Cassidy, but this is the first time that Brock is actually he's looking at a villain, not knowing that she's a villain, and completely falling head over heels for her. This is the first time. This has never happened in Pokemon yet that he has fallen in love with the villain.
yeah, why did the Japanese always have to draw these women so beautiful?
Hold on, just a second here, fellas. Jezebel.
Was she a villain?
Absolutely, she was.
All right.
She turned out to be.
But Brock wasn't smitten over her, was she?
Sure, he was.
I'm trying to think back to this. Oh, you are 100%. I just Googled it right now. You are 100% right, Doug.
That's why you keep me around, by God.
Yeah. Okay. This is the second time. So Brock loves him a little bit of bad girls, but yeah, we have Cassidy talking to all these trainers, and she's taking their Pokemon and bringing them into the Pokemon Greeting Center. We have Butch right behind her, and Misty is very don't do that.
Do what?
Yawn.
What are you talking about?
So we get into the breeding center, and Misty's very skeptical about this, but she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give them a try. So if they can make something of my Psyduck, then I'll believe in this place. But if they can't do it, do anything with Psyduck, then this place is basically just a fraud. Because she sits Psyduck down, and Cassidy just looks and says, "It's so cute. Just look at those adoring little eyes. They're like little ping pong balls." And Misty's like, "Yeah, I wish I had a paddle."
She is a bitch.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, paddle you,
And then shakes his head, saying that he has no brain and that his head is empty.
Yeah, and there's a lot of what did she say? There's a lot to work with up there, or something like.
So, but and then she makes note of Psyduck's eyes, saying that he just has a dull look on his face, and keep remember that for an upcoming part in the episode, because Misty wanted Psyduck to look a little bit more vicious, and then Cassidy's like, you know what? If we can't do it, no one can. And as our slogan says, a little Pokemon love power works miracles. And she does a little Japanese, like a little finger gesture, puts Psyduck on the conveyor belt, and Psyduck goes to the back. And we go on to the next part of the scene. Doug, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, usually pay extra for the Japanese finger gesture. So Psyduck goes through the conveyor belt, and our heroes are walking away, and Ash goes, I know your plan. You're gonna just leave Psyduck, and you're not gonna come back and get him.
Which
And
low key,
has.
that's what we were all thinking.
I mean, she's threatened to do it before. And she turns around and she's like, "Well, I caught Psyduck, and I have no intention of ever abandoning him. Like, did you catch him, or did he just have to walk up to an empty Pokeball? I mean, come on now. Here, what are we doing here? Which, her saying she won't leave Psyduck would be evil had she not beaten him upon the head multiple times, and as I said earlier, tried numerous times to leave him.
Yes.
So, he's my Pokemon. Okay, fine.
So, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I was trying to move us along because the introduction of potentially my favorite character.
Oh yeah, and we'll see if you can impersonate him in just a second. We walk upon a cafe that says an all you can eat buffet, absolutely free, and they're like, no, there has to be a catch here. There has to be a catch, and
That ain't happening during COVID.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to have a moment of silence for buffets.
no, but buffets are the shit. And
yeah, but they're gone. They're not.
No, Golden Corral is right down the road from my house. 2 minutes down the road, and it's open.
Well, you have fun with that.
But the chef ends up opening the door to the buffet and says, "If you can show me my favorite Pokemon, then I'll let you all eat for free." Or Doug, do the impersonation like you did in the Western episode.
If any of y'all have my favorite Pokemon, I'll let you come in here eat for free.
There you go. There we go. There's the.
That's actually pretty good.
Oh, and his little thing got us is the number one downloaded episode from our podcast.
So welcome to number 2.
So
I don't want to be anywhere near a number 2.
God damn it.
Oh, it's too late for this shit. All right. So
not into those videos, are you?
Hey, you're the one that invited me to be on this damn show,
Yeah, but I'm glad you're here. But every
yeah, but I'm glad. Okay.
But it's at this point that everyone throws out their Pokemon. So Ash throws out Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Pidgeotto, and the chef is like, nah, none of these are my.
None of them are my favorite.
He's like, well, how about Pikachu? And Pikachu's like, P, and he's like, nah. He's like, I'm afraid not. And then Brock is like, what about Onyx, Geodude, Zubat? He's like, I even have a Vulpix. He's like, none of those. Godine, Starmie, or Staryu, Horsey, or even my cute Togepi. He's like, none of them are my favorite Pokemon. And then he holds out a picture of a Psyduck. And I'm sorry, but Todd said he took that photo of Psyduck, and I'm kind of curious as to how he got a Psyduck to pose like that.
Well, and didn't he say that he's not a fan of posed photography? Like in his first episode, he says, "Well, I like to capture my Pokemon in the wild."
Yeah,
ain't no goddamn Psyduck just laying out in the field on a goddamn satin pillow with his goddamn foot up in the air.
Well, what Todd likes to do in his personal time, I'm joking.
I don't want to see Todd's search history if that's happening.
I mean, it looks like he's his foot up in there. It looks like he's ready to let out a big old nasty fart or something.
That's my Ted DiBiase laugh. Wow. All right. Sigh. And Misty
Old
is
Psyduck's over there doing his best Cameron Grimes impersonation.
so it's at this point Misty's looking at the photo, and I'm gonna paraphrase like a motherfucker in this part, but she's basically like, "Well, son of a bitch, I just dropped my Psyduck off at this breeding center, and this is the one time that Psyduck is actually going to be useful because Psyduck can give us a free meal. Now we got to go back, get my Psyduck so we can go and get a free meal." And they're like, "Will you be here in about 10 minutes?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm waiting on a truck full of 40 pounds of food. So yeah, I'll be here."
Gallons of ice cream.
Yep. So they start heading back over to the breeding center. Cino, do you want to take this next part?
Sure. Me. So yeah, they're gonna gorge on 50 gallons of ice cream. They think now because she's got the side duck, and of course they go back and bum, it's closed.
Yes.
And she's pissed, and I'm never gonna get my dessert now. And she stomps away, and she's like, "There's got to be another way of getting in." And of course, just lightly, or maybe not lightly, rapping on the door, and the door just happens to pop open.
Yes. Yes, they go to a side door, and the door just, well, actually, she twists it, and they basically break into this breeding center.
Well, is it really breaking in if the door's unlocked?
That was going to be my question.
So they're walking through, and they go in and they find this storage area that's full of a bunch of cages. Brock takes his flashlight, and he's looking, and he's like, "Oh, these are a bunch of cages." And then they look inside of the cages, and it's a bunch of Pokemon that's just stored away inside of all of these cages. And Ash's like, "This doesn't look like a luxury hotel. This looks like a prison." And Todd starts snapping some photos of the Pokemon. I'm sorry, but I mean, even though the pictures is what ends up helping later on, but it's at this point where Todd's kind of a dick for taking photos of these Pokemon helpless inside of these cages.
Well,
Yeah, but if he doesn't take those pictures, there's no resolution.
That is true. And then they come up to Misty's Psyduck, and Misty's Psyduck looks stern. He looks angry.
He looks surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprised.
Or like that old Jet Fox where they joke, "My aunt always looks like she just saw a rat,"
So, and Misty's like, "Well, he does look a little smart." Or no, she says it looks a little smarter. So we don't know if Psyduck is a boy or a girl, but she said that it looks a little smarter than when she dropped it off. And Brock is like, "Well, take a closer look." And then we see very thin pieces of tape holding up Psyduck's eyes. And they take the tape off, and Psyduck is back to being little Psyduck.
Animal abuse.
Yes. And then
Pokemon.
And then we see a crane coming over into the frame. And Doug, go ahead and take it on from here.
Right. We had another box being placed on a conveyor belt, and it goes through the other end, and we see it's a little sand shrew, and they say, "Well, this one looks pretty healthy. We'd be doing all right if it can learn Fury Swipes." And then they look, and they just got stacks of cages, and they say, "We got a lot of Pokemon in this dump, and it's gonna work out for us because we'll present our bounty to the boss, and we'll be his favorites."
Yes.
Something love power.
So
we love, I liked that line. It was like, we love power because, or
we believe in love power because we love power.
That's it.
I was like, I like that. I might need to steal that.
So it's at this point that our four heroes. It's weird saying our four heroes instead of the trio.
I don't think I'm not. Todd's a hanger on. I don't.
Our heroes are eavesdropping in on the conversation, so they hear what's going on here. And Ash is like, so this is all one big fake place. And Brock is like, we can't let them treat the Pokemon like this. And Todd's like, I have an idea. I'm going to take a whole bunch of pictures of this place and we can give it to the cops.
Basically, what he's been doing.
Yes. So and then in this next scene, we get the rare appearance of future Giovanni with his Persian.
Yeah, because he's not name checked, is he?
No, he's not name checked.
He's just some boss. Dude petting a Persian.
Yep, he's the boss. So
Bruce Springs.
What? So Giovanni comes onto the screen. He's like, so tell me, how is this breeding center scam going? And Cassidy and Butch look back and they say, everything is going as good as planned and we have a lot of promising Pokemon. And Giovanni kind of breaks up Cassidy and Butch's plans and says, excellent, send me all of the Pokemon because I would like to pick my own Pokemon from the bunch myself. Which kind of breaks up their plan because Cassidy and Butch were going to pick the best Pokemon that they thought and send it over to the boss. But the boss wants to pick them himself.
What are they going to do with the rejects?
Nothing. Well, I guess give them back to the trainers.
No, I don't see that. Well, sell them back, maybe.
Yeah, just kill them.
No, remember, because later on, Misty goes back in to get her side up.
Oh, that's true. They do. Some kind of scruples.
Yeah. But
shut up, it's late.
But Giovanni also congratulates Cassidy and Butch on their splendid work on this project, unlike those other blundering idiots talking about Jesse and James. And Cassidy looks on and says that Jesse and James is an embarrassment to Team Rocket. They are completely unreliable. And the good thing we didn't tell them about this plan because they would have ruined it. Unbeknownst to them, but Team Rocket is on their way over to steal the Pokemon. But Todd is now taking pictures in the back, and it's at this point that Butch notices a flash coming from the other room. C note.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, never mind. I was gonna go off on one.
C note.
Yeah, so he's taking pictures, and I guess this is 1999, so we don't have digital cam. Well, I don't know, were there digital? No, there weren't digital cameras yet, were they? I don't know. I can't remember that far back, but you could at least turn your flash off.
Well, it's dark in the room.
Yeah, well, there's enough light, I think. But yeah, so they're freaking out, and they're shaking, and there's a close up of them shaking, and Butch coming, with his hand on the door, and then they go back to them shaking, and he opens the door, and
they're gone.
Nothing.
I'm guessing that was the commercial break.
It has to have been the act break.
Yeah, and then it's Pika with his glowing or electricity or whatever. Which was the light was just the Pikachu. Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was very smart because Pikachu just ran and jumped into one of the cages and started using its Thunder Shock. Which I applaud them for thinking that quick because they were sweating bullets.
This raises questions about these cages.
Yes.
Because if Pikachu can get in and out that easily,
Pikachu's small.
What the hell is stopping them from getting the rest of them out?
Well, my next thing was, what was stopping Misty from using her Pokeball to call Psyduck back?
Well, he's a little on the fluffy side, so would he be able to squeeze through there?
Well, but once you summon your Pokemon back, he just becomes a glom of energy, right?
But
So
no,
it wouldn't matter.
no, but Misty is it's at this point that Misty's trying to break Psyduck out, but the cage is locked. So my immediate thought was take out your Pokeball and call Psyduck back, but she doesn't do
Right.
that. So they're all just standing there, and then this is when we get the introduction of Team Rocket breaking in, and when they crash in, the trio kind of runs away, and they go and they hide, and they look at Team Rocket, and Jesse's like, this breeding center is a genius idea. It's a burglar's dream. So now they're gonna want to steal all of these Pokemon to present it to Giovanni, knowing to them that these are all of Giovanni's Pokemon already.
Essentially.
So Doug, take it from here.
So after James has recovered from getting bonked in the head with a mallet because he's got a big mouth, he's picking a lock with a hairpin, and the four of them are behind Team Rocket, and we have a square off, and he said, "What are you doing in here? We could ask you the same question. You get out here. We found this place first." James got a big mouth, says, we couldn't trust you," and fucking waking up the whole damn neighborhood and shit. And we're freaking bickering, and our voices are getting louder, and then the lights pop on, and then the jig is up.
Yes.
And everybody's got a big mouth.
Right.
So it's at this time that Butch and Cassidy introduce their slogan. And I'm going to pull it up right here. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to read off Cassidy and Butch's because it's very rare that we actually get the full slogan from them. But their slogan is to infect the world with devastation, to blight all people in every nation, to denounce the goodness of truth and love, to extend our wrath to the stars above. Cassidy, Butch, we're Team Rocket, circling the if I can even talk. Let's see. I hate rewinding on Netflix. It always rewinds one too far. So we got Cassidy. But we're Team Rocket, circling Earth all day and night. Surrender to us now, and you'll surely lose the fight. That's right. Raticate. And then Raticate jumps into the frame, and Jesse calls their slogan thieves because they took their slogan from them and made them with different words.
And we also find out that apparently Jesse and Cassidy used to be pretty friendly until, in Jesse's words, Cassidy got jealous because Jesse was much more hot.
she was hotter than her, so which I beg to differ. I think Cassidy is a little hotter than Jesse.
I wouldn't kick either of them out of bed for eating crackers.
Yeah. So
they put some cheese on that crackers.
But it's that.
No, I think I would provide the cheese, wouldn't I?
Let's continue.
Wow. Alrighty then.
But it's at this point that Cassidy tells Jesse and James that they're trying to steal Giovanni's Pokemon, which then puts the fear of life in Jesse and James. And then Cassidy and Butch sit here and get ready to call the cops. And James and everybody starts running around. James finds his Weeping Bell, who has evolved into a Victory Bell.
I have a question.
What's that?
I was racking my brain on this. For a while.
Okay.
Did we miss something?
No.
With this, I didn't think so. Okay.
No, that's it's one of his Pokemon. But
Because I was like, look, I know these all blend together. I could have sworn there was nothing. There was nothing with James's Weeping Bell.
um
I'm
yeah, I don't remember what episode he got Weeping Bell, to be completely honest. But
I don't think we've seen him.
no.
The only Pokemon that I've seen James with has been coughing that evolved into wheezing. And I was thinking, I was like, could it have been on one of the band episodes? I was like, no, because we've seen the band episodes. So I think this is just one of the things where this is a throwaway line. Like, oh, James, it's funny because James left, which lends more credence to your theory that this is a up and coming center because James says he left it here a while back.
Yes. So it's at this point, Victory Bell is so happy to see James that it eats James' head. So Jesse is pulling James back because now James is paralyzed from from the poison. And
Man, that's a great line.
what does he say?
Because James goes, "What are you involved in victory bell?" And he eats him, and they're dragging him away. And I wish his brain would evolve a little.
And then it's at this point that cages start falling from the ceiling, and it surrounds Jesse, James, and Meowth with Victory Bell, and then another one gets Ash and Brock and Todd inside of the cage, and it missed Misty and Pikachu. So it's at this point that Misty and Pikachu run away, and they're able to get away, but Cassidy and Butch call the cops on our trio inside of the cage, and Jesse and James saying that they're trying to steal the Pokemon from the Pokemon Breeding Center, and Officer Jenny is ready to lay the law down on these Pokemon thieves. C note.
Yes. So uh, they're basically telling the officer you're arresting the wrong guys. We're innocent. They're the ones that were trying to do all the bad stuff, and they're crooks, not us. And little Meowth was like, hey, speak for yourself. And they throw him in the paddy wagon. Tell you save your story for later. And they're like, great, now we're going to jail. And yep, we get the sirens wailing, and then we've got Pikachu and
Misty.
what's her name? Misty. They were kind of hiding, in the alley there. What they were doing before we got to them, I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Perhaps.
But yeah, it's at this point that they're going back and or she's pacing back and forth, and she's like, you know what? I got it. All we need is picture proof of what's going on in the back of this Pokemon breeding center, and it can get them out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
So we wait until the following morning. So Ash, Brock, and Todd and Team Rocket spent the night in jail, and it's at this point now that Misty is walking into the Pokemon breeding center with a ball cap, and she wants her Psyduck back. And it's at this point that she says that I have an emergency trip and I need this Psyduck back because Cassidy is saying that they have a 2-day holding policy for Pokemon. Doug?
So once Cassidy relents and goes in the back to fetch Psyduck, Pikachu pops out and goes looking because when Brock, Ash, and Todd get hauled away, they took Todd's camera.
Yes.
So Pikachu's on the hunt for the camera because obviously Todd took pictures of the setup and the Pokemon in cages, which would be monumental in helping kind of blow the lid off this whole breeding center fiasco. So Pikachu's poking his head in rooms and not finding anything. Misty's pacing, saying Pikachu's taking a long time. Cassidy comes back with Psyduck right as Pikachu opens the door of the last office, finds the camera, and then we cut back to the main counter. And Cassidy says, "Well, unfortunately, due to the short turnaround, we were unable to really do any kind of drastic makeover with Psyduck." And Misty's kind of stammering and stalling because Pikachu's not back. And
Finally, Pikachu pokes in and starts tapping Misty on the leg, unbeknownst to Cassidy.
And Misty takes a quick glance down and sees Pikachu with the camera. And Misty grabs Psyduck, and they hightail it out of there. And with Pikachu under one arm and side. And so if I'm Cassidy, I'm wondering where the hell that Pikachu came from, because it wasn't here when she came in, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
But that's just me with the benefit of hindsight, I suppose.
And I mean, isn't it weird that Cassidy doesn't recognize her like as one of those kids that just broke in the night before?
Oh, no, but you see, that's the ball cap and the jacket.
Yeah, she has a ball cap and jacket on.
Oh, really?
It's the Piper Niven. It's
Clark Kent.
Piper Niven all over again. No, that's even better. It is Clark Kent.
So it's at this point that we travel over to
just compared Misty to Clark Kent. What in the hell are we doing?
I mean, well, Clark, at least he had glasses.
Misty had a ball cap.
Yes, he had a ball cap and a jacket. But it's at this point that we travel over to the Pokemon police station, and everybody is inside of the jail cell. Ash and Todd are yelling at Officer Jenny, and James is in the back, infatuated with his victory bell, who ends up eating him again. So, Officer Jenny is like, if you're trying to win sympathy, it's not going to work. The judge is going to throw the book at you, Pokemon snatchers. And Misty jumps into the scene and she's like, you're making a mistake. I have picture proof that they are innocent. And she shows Officer Jenny some photos, and it's some stock photos that Todd had taken of Pikachu, Staryu, and Squirtle.
More posed photos, by the way.
Yes.
So just blowing the whole lid off of the whole. I like to take pictures in their natural habitat. Shit.
So, and then she puts those photos away and then takes out the photos of the Pokemon inside of the cages and how sad all of these Pokemon look inside of these cages. And I felt bad for the execute that was in that photo, because that cage is...
They were crammed in there, boy.
Yeah, they were really, really crammed in there. And
talk about scrambled eggs.
So they all reveal that this Pokemon breeding center is a lie, and that they need to go over there because they're sending all of these Pokemon somewhere else. And Jesse and James, of course, they're like, yeah, we're the good guys. I was just dying. I was like, of course she's gonna say that they're the good guys. And Misty, of all people, say, please, they broke into the breeding center just to steal those Pokemon. So of course, Team Rocket doesn't get to leave. They're stuck inside of the jail cell, but Officer Jenny goes back over to the breeding center to arrest these thieves, Cassidy and Butch. C note.
Yeah, so we get sirens wailing and the police showing up. She busts in and she said, "Hey, you were trying to frame these kids, and when it was you that was really stealing all the Pokemon." And they tried to deny it. Him and Han tried to get around it and waved. And she's like, no, I know everything that's going on. Don't try resisting. Um, and they're like, okay. And she throws Raticate. And so, of course, Ash, throws out Pikachu, and Pikachu, pretty much, electrocutes the poor little rat. But and Raticate got fried, and then we get Bulbasaur.
Oh,
And
look at you remembering some of these Pokemon. I'm impressed.
I'm also watching it, and I've got the freaking
subtitles
on. So
I was thinking it, but I'm not going to call him out. I'm not going to call him out.
So we got Bulbasaur. I did remember Bulbasaur, so so Bulbasaur kind of shoots those little vines or whatever you want to call them out.
Vine
grab
whip.
them. What's that?
Vine whip.
Okay. Well, see, I was close.
Cool.
And
cool.
They get tied up and they get hauled away, and everybody thanks Todd for taking those pictures.
Yes.
And then the police come and hey, you did a good job. We'll get all these Pokemon back to their rightful owners. And they're like, anybody hungry? And then we see everybody scarfing down ice cream.
Yes. And they're all eating for free because Misty brought the Psyduck back over to this chef who is infatuated with Psyduck.
It's all free because you brought over this cute little Psyduck.
And then we end this week's episode back in the jail cell where we have Team Rocket digging their way out of the jail. Where did they get these shovels?
And how does somebody not see that big old hole in the floor of the jail cell?
Yeah, they weren't even covering the hole with a freaking Raquel Welch poster.
Right. I mean, Escape from Alcatraz would be like, offended.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, as they're traveling underneath the ground, we go back to our trio with Todd, and this is the point where Todd is about to go right as our heroes are going left in the fork in the road, and Todd said that he's going to become the best Pokemon picture taker, and he wants to go and get some new shots of some wild Pokemon. So this is where that they're going to depart from each other. So the whole Pokemon Snap advertisement is over. Doug?
And then as everybody says their goodbyes and Todd's waving goodbye, and then we go to a final shot of our heroes walking above ground, and then we widen out to see that Team Rocket are digging below them, like 2 or 3 layers below them. And James and Jesse says, well, watch where you're throwing that dirt. And James says, well, I can't see a foot in front of my face. And Meow says, well, if you keep going, you're going to see a foot in front of your face.
So, and that's how we end this week's episode. This was a good episode.
'Twas.
Yes. And Doug, and C-Note, I didn't tell you this off air, but we like to rate these episodes now, and we will get to you. But Doug,
we'll get to you.
Wait a minute. Now you didn't.
But
brother, some fucking heads up. I'm doing that shit.
Oh, that's why we're gonna get to you. So
why
Doug,
we're not going to you now.
So Doug, on your Dougometer, out of 5 stars compared to the other 54 episodes that we have watched, what would you rate this episode out of 5?
I mean, it's a 2, isn't it? I mean, because like all we do. I mean, we lose Todd. Is about all we do.
Well, we get the introduction of Cassidy and Butch.
Well, yeah, but Butch can fuck right off.
Hey, now.
He's
That's
got.
who I was being compared to this week.
Well, I'm sorry, but he's got an annoying voice.
Well,
Like
so do you.
frickin-
Do you hear me
like
say
frickin-
that? No.
Like frickin' Harvey Wierstein or
Firestein?
Harvey Firestein, fucking pack a day habit.
Nah.
No, it's a 2. I mean, I probably fucked up by giving it the same rating as last week, but I mean, you got to give me something to get 3, 4, and especially a 5, and this didn't give me anything.
Okay.
I mean, they kind of treated us like we were stupid because all of a sudden James has a goddamn victory bell.
Yeah. So.
I mean, they tied it in right because they're like, oh, that reminds me, I left it at this particular breeding center a while back. So it's not like, he pulled it completely out of his butt, but he did, though.
Just a little. So I'm gonna give this episode probably about I'd say between the 2 and a 2.5. I'm gonna go 2.5 this week because I
You
like
said I'm going, but if you said 2.25, I was fucking leaving this fucking call.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 only because we get the introduction of Cassidy and Butch. They're going to be reoccurring characters on this show going forward, and they're going to be a nice little thorn in Jesse and James' buttocks later on as well. So I'm gonna that's where my half comes in. Outside of that, this was a 2-star episode for me. It's a lot better than last week's episode where I gave it a 1, but we did have a progression in this episode. So, C note, what would you give this out of 5 stars?
Well, I'm going to give it a 5 because it's the best one I've ever seen because it's funny. No peer pressure or anything here, but yeah, I mean, it was okay. Even for being, like I said, I did watch this a little bit back in the day. It's been a long time. Don't know if I actually saw this episode or not. But yeah, I would say it's like in that 2 to 3 range too.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, then this is where we're getting ready to sign off. So, C note, it was a pleasure recording with you again. It feels like old times in the SEB crew.
That's what he said.
So thank you for coming on to the show this week.
Well, I was glad to make it. Maybe we can do this again. I don't know.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you want me back. But yeah, this was actually kind of fun. I think you guys got something here. So yeah, can't believe that you're this many episodes into the thing already. It seemed like you were just talking about this a couple weeks ago.
I know.
It's fucking pandemic, man. I swear to God.
At least something good came out of this pandemic.
I guess, yeah. Like screws with all of our lives and time and everything else. But yeah, I enjoyed myself. Thanks for definitely asking me to come on. Didn't make me look too stupid. Now you called me out on having the subtitles and everything, but hey, whatever.
So did I, for what it's worth. I mean, and to be fair, you haven't seen the final episode yet, or the final cut yet.
Well, yeah, and I may have to go back and listen to it because so you know what, you might get one extra download than you normally would.
God damn.
You should
And
listen
maybe
to us
I'll
on a
do it
weekly.
couple times.
I think you'll enjoy this show if you actually put us on your
Do you know what? I mean, I actually have tried to sit down and it's like there's so much that I want to fucking listen to.
yes.
In between everything that's on What a Cartoon and Talking Simpsons and they had
There's
Talking
not
in
enough
the
time in
Hills.
the day.
there's not enough time in the day. You know,
I'm telling y'all, and you're gonna roll your eyes and you're gonna whatever.
1.5 speed. I know.
No, 2 times. It's
Or 2
fucking.
times. Excuse me.
It's a dream.
Yeah, I can't. It gives me a headache listening to somebody have to.
But they don't though.
I tried it. It just didn't work for me. Now you got Brockmeyer too with a podcast. So I'm just but I will try. I will definitely try to go back and listen to a few.
Well, if nothing else, subscribe to us. So
I am subscribed.
There you go. So at least we're getting that download.
Yeah, I've subscribed, and
so he's doing his duty. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did listen to, started to listen to an episode earlier just to kind of get an idea of what you guys talked about, so I didn't sound too stupid. So but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we'll have to do this again sometime, maybe.
All right, we definitely will. So thank you. And Doug, do you have any last words to say?
Yes, I do.
What's that?
I have to go now. My planet needs. No. Now that we're basically done with the episode, I can say what I've been holding on to since Cassidy and Butch have been introduced.
Okay.
We went this entire damned episode, and not one of us made a Butch Cassidy reference. So I think that we deserve some kind of something.
It would be nice if I knew what you were talking about.
I was thinking it. I just didn't know if you guys would catch it.
I couldn't tell you, so I'm gonna Google it right now.
Oh my goodness.
Butch Cassidy, American criminal, better known as American train and bank robber.
Sometimes I don't know. The Illinois school system has failed a number of us on a number of occasions.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
What happened to Butch Cassidy?
Oh, this dude is a motherfucker. Yeah, he did a lot of bad things. Okay.
He was like, I think he may have been worse than Jesse James.
I think so. I mean, at a certain point, you're splitting hairs, but it's possible.
Is it bad that I never put 2 and 2 together that Jesse James being the subliminal message. Holy shit. Okay. All right. And it's at that time I was this many days old when I was looking this up. So live on the podcast.
Wow. I can't. Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, look, if you're not looking for it.
I mean, I was thinking about it, but I was like, yeah, I didn't know if you guys would catch it.
Well, I can tell you for certain that I didn't catch it when I was first watching it, back, goddamn
years ago.
In 99, but it was like first thing that popped into my head this evening when I was watching it. I was like, I wonder if we can go the entire episode with nobody saying anything.
If you knew who Butch Cassidy was when you were 8,
99.
I don't think I actually ever learned about Butch Cassidy in school.
Well, they wouldn't really teach us about, Butch Cassidy or Jesse James, because they're bad guys, Yeah. They don't want to glorify their behavior.
Right.
I mean, not that we're going to fucking go out in the playground and fucking hog tie our classmates.
Well,
So, All right. Well, good reference. You taught me something today, Doug.
Oh, see, there you go.
And now you've just gotten Butch Cassidy and Jesse James a whole bunch more Google searches from people that don't know the story behind the names. So there you go, Doug. Thank you.
Now, if we can just get a pair of villains called Sundance and Kid, we'll be all right.
That's season 4. I'm joking. All right. So do you have anything else?
Did you say what's that for?
No, I said that's season 4.
Well, that's season 4. Gotcha.
So, all right. Well, then say your goodbye, Doug.
Bye, Doug.
All right, everybody. And this is a wrap for season 1. We will catch you next week with our almost 3-hour review of Mewtwo Strikes Back, the first Pokemon movie. Have a good night, everybody.